Welcome to the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, the country's first Polytechnic U. PUP is a state-run university governed by the Republic Act 8292, known as the Higher Education Modernization Act of 1997, and its implementing rules and regulations contained in the Commission on Higher Education Memorandum Circular No. 4, Series of 1997. It is home to more than 70,000 students, making it the largest state university in the Philippines in terms of student population. It is the university's commitment to give qualified and talented students access to quality and responsive education to aid them in the achievement of their dreams and the improvement of their lives. True to its commitment of making education accessible to all, the university has strategically established campuses and branches all over Luzon. PUP boasts of its roster of 1,483 full-time and part-time faculty members and 707 administrative employees. The faculty members and employees perform the collective goal of training, servicing, and supporting the university's stakeholders. From its humble beginnings in 1904, PUP was originally established as the Manila Business School primarily for the training of personnel for government service and to provide skills needed for private employment. 4 years later, the Manila Business School was renamed Philippine School of Commerce or PSC and merged with the Philippine Normal School from 1933 to 1946. Through the virtue of Republic Act 778, PSC was renamed to Philippine College of Commerce or PCC in 1952. In April 1, 1978, PCC was converted into a chartered state university now known as the Polytechnic University of the Philippines by virtue of Presidential Decree No. 1341. PUP truly has come a long way from a business school to a premier polytechnic university, the very first in the country. Every year, around 50,000 graduating high school students, mostly from economically challenged families, take the Polytechnic University of the Philippines College Entrance Test or PUP set and hope to become one of the 10,000 who will be given a chance to be new PUPians. At present, the university offers more than 80 programs in the graduate and undergraduate levels with its strategic direction of making the colleges vertically articulated. Graduate School, College of Accountancy and Finance, College of Arts and Letters, College of Architecture and Fine Arts, College of Business Administration, College of Communication, College of Computer and Information Sciences, College of Education, College of Engineering, College of Law, College of Political Science and Public Administration, College of Social Sciences and Development, College of Science, College of Tourism, Hospitality and Transportation Management, College of Human Kinetics, Institute of Technology. PUP further strengthens its open university system through expanded tertiary education equivalency and accreditation program and the non-traditional system program. It caters to borderless educational system that aims to reach many learners as possible. For more than a century of existence, countless outstanding achievements have raised PUP to the level of a national comprehensive university. With a vision to transform the university into an epistemic community, PUP subscribes to the idea that a university should have an extensive research and extension development culture. Each year, PUP surpasses national passing rate in licensure examinations and ranks among the top in different academic disciplines. PUP has also institutionalized academic exchange and international cooperation with various countries all over the world through its Office of International Affairs. Today, PUP is relishing its successes and its students are enjoying unprecedented academic opportunities. An enhanced campus environment, upgraded colleges, state-of-the-art technology, and nationally and internationally recognized programs. It has gone far from what it was more than a century ago. This is mainly due to the support given by the government, the PUP community, and its benefactors. With the combined efforts, PUP will continue to be a partner in nation building and in poverty alleviation for the marginalized sector of the society, with quality, responsive, and relevant education as a tool. PUP, the country's first polytechnic U.
Allow me to share with you my vision for the university. I envision PUP to become the pioneering and leading national polytechnic university in the 21st century. With a national polytechnic university status, it will bring more opportunities for the university to further strengthen its academic programs and improve organizational performance as an institution for higher education. In pursuit for this vision, my mission for PUP is for it to recognize its catalytic role for national development. PUP will ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities through a re-engineered polytechnic education. By re-engineering, we look into the existing processes and programs in order to achieve higher quality of academic programs and services following the principles of effectiveness and efficiency. With this mission in mind, I have formulated 10 pillars as my reform agenda for the university. Pillar 1. Dynamic, transformational, and responsible leadership. Empower academic and administrative leaders by following the core principles of good governance to create collective growth and unity. Here I would like to highlight an innovation by introducing the development of an integrity management plan to assess, plan, and implement anti-corruption strategies that will secure the institution against corruption and abuse. Likewise, asset management and resource generation will be aggressively pursued to ensure productivity and finance the implementation of the plans and projects for the university. Pillar 2. Responsive and innovative curricula and instruction. We aim to provide world-class polytechnic education that responds to national and global needs by developing intellectually challenging curricula and design academic programs that are based on industry demands to provide the learners with adequate and relevant competencies and skills and prepare them for a successful and rewarding careers. In a rapidly changing world, we recognize the paradigm shift in curriculum to outcome-based education with lifelong learning approach. Pillar 2 also sits on the framework of internationalization of Philippine higher education through transnational education by promoting academic mobility among faculty and students and global dimension into the curricula and teaching process. Pillar 3. Enabling and productive learning environment. Following education in Industry 4.0, we aim to increase and enhance the use of new technology to enable student learning and engagement, as well as advanced teaching process and methodology through new and state-of-the-art facilities that will support the overall learning and teaching experience in the university. Pillar 3 likewise includes campus development and the provision of conducive learning centers and facilities for students and faculty. Pillar 4, Holistic Student Development and Engagement. We will empower students as well as rounded learners and active young leaders as we open opportunities for various academic mobility and venues for honing skills and personal development, being the principal stakeholder of the university. Recognize academic freedom as a form of self-expression and a platform to showcase students' intellect, skills, and creativity. Pillar 5, Empowered Faculty Members and Employees. Likewise, we are looking into the holistic development of our faculty and employees as productive, competent, and experts in their respective fields. We will encourage our faculty roster through formal education, capacity building, research and extension initiatives, faculty immersion, and other academic engagements, both local and abroad. We will ensure that both our faculty and employees will have a vibrant career development path as public servants in this state university. Pillar 6, Vigorous Research Production and Utilization. We will continue to strengthen the research culture in the university by promoting discovery and innovation through increasing disciplinary and collaborative research integration across academic disciplines to create new knowledge, utilize research findings, and develop innovative products. Pillar 7, Global Academic Standards and Excellence. Achieve the highest levels of recognition in quality and compliance standards from CHED, AACUP, and other international accrediting and regulatory bodies for higher education. We will intensify our efforts to achieve and sustain better academic performance and continue to excel as a top-performing school in various professional licensure examinations and produce board top-notchers as well as sustain our status of being the most preferred graduates of employers. Likewise, we aim to establish and to be recognized as centers of development and excellence in our academic programs. Pillar 8, Synergistic, Productive, Strategic Networks and Partnerships. Synergize and forge strategic linkages and partnerships across all sectors of society and the global community in line with the overall plans and programs of the university. Establish alliance with the government, industry sector, NGOs, and the academe will lead to resource sharing, program support, and research collaborations beneficial for all. Pillar 9, Active and Sustained Stakeholders Engagement. Harness a healthy and harmonious organization by empowering all its stakeholders, both internal and external, through open communication networks, consultative and participative undertakings, and team-building activities, recognizing that all stakeholders can greatly contribute towards the betterment of the university. Pillar 10, Sustainable Social Development Programs and Projects. Expand access to education, knowledge building, and information dissemination through sharing of expertise and resources for community development. Support inclusivity approach in education by embarking on Education on Wheels, which aims to bring access to education closer to communities, following the principle of no one will be left behind. As the University of the People, we should bring the university closer to their hearts to serve their needs and extend assistance in mainstreaming public service. Our institution must continue to stand as one for the values that we have inculcated. For the past 115 years, we have exemplified our quest for truth, excellence, equity, relevance, effectiveness, integrity, and academic freedom. Lastly, I call upon each and everyone to join me in this journey. Together we stand as one para sa sintang paaralan para sa ating bayan.
Wow! ang paborito niyong online tambayan, dito lang yan sa Pamantasan. Ako si Zed.
Maghahatid kaalaman ng everything you had to know. Ako si El.
Tampok ang mga nakaka-proud at huwa ng PUP yan. Saka naman si Sir Dennis.
Lahat ng latest, trending ito sa Facebook na bang. Ako naman si Pa.
At muli niyo kami makakasama dito lang sa Pinakausap-usapan sa Pamantasan. High school
Wow!
meet ayan. Kamusta naman kayo dyan?
Yes. Siyempre, malamig.
Daming yes, ah.
At masaya, siyempre. O, kayo ba?
Oh, so inspired ako. Kami naman saan, marami kami ginagawa pag Burman.
Oh, siyempre.
Pero kinakaya, laban. Laban lang.
Tama. Marami din naman kasi tayong natututunan.
Correct.
Diba?
Naku, alam nyo, kakayanin nyo yan.
Oh.
Kasi itong mga student leaders natin, kinakaya.
Sino
Oo.
yan, ma'am?
Academics plus student service.
Wow,
mismo.
Pengi namin tulong.
Kilalanin natin sila sa
Organic!
Hi schoolmates! Ako si Elijah San Fernando, ang bagong presidente ng Sentral na Konseho ng Mag-aaral. Sentral na Konseho ng Mag-aaral ang pinakamataas na student government sa PUP Main Campus. Since 1983 pa nag-e-exist ang mga student councils. Tungkulin ng Sentral na Konseho ng Mag-aaral na magbigay ng mga aktibidad na maglilinang sa kagalingan at mga interes ng mga eskolar ng bayan. Bukod sa pagsusulong ng students' rights and welfare, isa sa pangunahing proyekto ngayon ng Sentral na Konseho ng Mag-aaral ay ang pagpapatayo ng mga student centers, student areas para sa mga eskolar ng bayan at mga organisasyon sa ating sintang paaralan. Pinili naming paglingkuran ang mga eskolar ng bayan sapagkat naniniwala kami na sa pamamagitan ng Konseho ng Mag-aaral ay makapagbibigay kami ng mga proyekto at aktibidad na siyang maglilinang ng kakayahan at mga interes ng mga kapwa natin eskolar ng bayan. As the highest student body in PUP Main Campus, it is our duty to uphold the rights and interests of the whole student. Dito na papasok yung buong layunin ng Sentral na Konseho ng Mag-aaral bilang representante ng mas malawak na hanay ng mga eskolar ng bayan. Kami ang Sentral na Konseho ng Mag-aaral. Certified Orgaling!
Tatak sa pagiging mabuting ehemplo para sa mga scholar ng bayan.
Tama, pero syempre, ito hindi lang basta estudyante, yung mga nagsisilbi ng mga ganyan, meron din naman tayong kilalang good example, no? Balita ko, kamustahan mo yan last time, sir.
Wow, updated ka dyan, ha?
Well, kasi may vlog ka na eh.
I know, right? Please follow Dennis Dumrique sa YouTube. Anyway.
Nag-vlog.
Pero anyway, totoo yan, ano? Isa lang naman siya sa mga pride ng PUP. At, syempre pa sa larangan din ng broadcast journalism.
Alam nyo, kilala ko yan.
Ay,
Bakit
bakit?
naman, ma'am?
Dating host yan ng PUP TV season.
Hoy! Pinapanood ko yun!
Andito na siya.
Siya naging bias
Sabi na nga, be.
Anyway, sino ba yan?
Nakasama natin yan si Kuya L.A.
Totoo.
Yes, true yan, Ma'am Yel. O siya, kilalanin na natin siya sa ating Sofa Session presents
L.A. Santos!
Halina't kumustahin at kilalanin ang mga nakaka-proud at huwarang PUP alumni. Ako si Sir Dennis at ito ang Sofa Session, Scholar ng Bayan noon, Scholar para sa Bayan ngayon. Tampok sa ating unang usapan ay isang
Broadcast Journalist Graduate Batch 2013, nakilala bilang isa sa mga host ng unang season ng Pinakausap-usapan sa Pamantasan. At ngayon, siya ay isa sa pinakabatang radio correspondent sa kanilang istasyon.
nagbabalita at makikibalita sa atin. Please welcome L.A. Santos! Hello! Kumusta naman, Sir L.A.?
Ayun, okay pa naman at buhay na buhay pa.
Ayun, gusto ko yun. Buhay na buhay pa. Proceed, let me just say congratulations sa achievement mo, no, bilang isang broadcast journalist. So, mayroon tayong mga katanungan, Sir L.A. First question, let's start by telling your story. Ano yung mga namimiss mo sa PUP or bilang isang PUP yan?
Siyempre, FEWA!
Pewa. So, aside from Pewa, ano pa yung mga namimiss mo sa PUP?
E di syempre, yung kultura natin.
Ano bang sa tingin mo yung culture ng PUP na unique na nagagamit mo ngayon sa
Aba.
humor?
Tinuruan tayo maging mandirigma at magtiis sa mahabang pila.
Yun, tama. Kasi
O hindi paninira yun ha.
Exactly.
Ano yun, parang...
compliment.
Oo, sa loob pa lamang ng paaralan natin, tinuturuan na tayong ano, ako ano man yung mangyayari, posibilidad na mangyayari sa hinarap, nararamdaman na natin.
Correct.
Yan.
Oo. Tsaka tinuturuan tayo maging patient, diba?
Yun, So, balikan yung mga prof.
Grabe!
Pwede!
Sige nga. Paano ba? Hindi, joke lang.
Ako, personally, hindi naman ako nakaramdam talaga ng, alam mo, sama na loob. Siguro may mga prof talaga na stricto, yung terror kung tawagin. Pero pagka natapos yung course nyo, natapos yung subject mo na yun, ngayon nasa trabaho ka na, ma-realize mo na, may punto pala siya kung ba't siya ganun.
Yes, totoo. Galing. Next question naman natin. How did PUP shape you for your career?
Round shape. Siguro tinuruan niya akong maging matapang. Yung maging matapang kapag dating sa yung realidad.
Yes.
Parang hindi ka basta susuko. Kasi sa atin, dito ang training sa atin, siguro sa College of Communication din na hindi porket wala, hindi mo na gagawin. Gagawa ka talaga ng paraan.
Parang bawal ang bumanga.
Oo, bawal lang mo. Oo. Pero dahil sa PUP, syempre natuto kang humanap ng paraan, naging resourceful ka, nahanap yung mga bagay na yan. Which is nagagamit ko siya ngayon.
Wow. Yeah, that's the true PUPian spirit, di ba? Okay. In one word, describe your PUP journey and why.
Siguro, palaban.
Palaban?
Kailangan talaga maging palaban ka sa buhay.
Yes.
Dahil hindi ka magtatagumpay kung manatili ka lang na ka sa isang sulok nung kung saan ka nasaan ka man.
And palaban, kasi talaga naman kailangan mong maging matapang dun sa nature ng work mo, di ba?
Yung PUP, kilalang palaban talaga yan.
Yes. So, you are now a junior
Radio
correspondent. Kwentuhan mo naman kami, Sir LA, kung ano yung mga daily routine mo, anong ginagawa mo.
Junior radio correspondent po ako sa Super Radio DCBB. Ang karaniwang beat ko, police beat. Kasi usually panggabing duty ako.
Yes.
So ang trabaho ko, ay syempre mag-report ng mga crime news. Kung ano yung mga nagaganap sa gabi. Ano yung ibig sabihin, sir, na gabi ay paro patayan? Yung mga crime news, mga police stories.
Mr. LA, last question na to. Oh my gosh. Siguro ano na lang, advice na lang pala. Okay? Ano yung mga advice mo sa mga future journalist, future broadcast journalist? Na PUP yan, ha?
Sa mga taga-COC, yung mga kumukuha po ng journalism, mga broadcast communication research, ituloy nyo lang yung pangarap ninyo. Tandaan nyo palagi na pagka nasa realidad na kayo, kalimutan nyo na matalino kayo. Ang pinakamahalaga ay marunong kang makisama. Kasi kahit gaano ka katalino, kung hindi ka marunong makisama, iiwan ka ng mga tao nasa paligid mo. Pagpatuloy mo lang yung pangarap mo, huwag kang susuko, maging matapang, at siyempre matuto kang makisama sa taong nasa paligid mo.
Patunay si Mr. L.A. Santos na dating scholar ng bayan noon ay nagsisilbing inspirasyon at nagbibigay karangalan sa ating sintang paaralan ngayon. With that, see you next time. Ito ang Sofa Session. Maraming salamat, L.A. Santos. Nagbabalita. Dennis Noriga.
Sir, na-change ka rin. Nakadaya na mag-teacher.
Sorry, nadala lang ako. Kasi ang galing kasi niya. Tsaka, na-realize ko, ang hirap pala. At saka nakakapagod din magbalita sa radyo.
Tama, alam mo, kailangan marami kang alam.
Oo, totoo.
Tsaka alam niyo ba, isa siya sa pinakabatang radio news anchor sa station.
Wow. Yes, in fairness naman talaga.
Naman, so marami pa kayong aabangan sa mga susunod naming episode.
True.
O kaya kayo mga schoolmates, para maging updated sa usap-usapan, make sure na you are following your social media account.
Just search for www.facebook.com/PUPCreative and follow us on Twitter at PUPTV.
Ayan, don't forget to watch our previous episode
Yes.
at ang episode na to sa ating YouTube channel. Just subscribe at PUP Creative.
Yes, so schoolmates! Hanggang sa susunod na usapan dito sa pabalitan yung online tambayan. Ito ang
Pinakausap-usapan sa Pamantasan!
Ano ko sa tanong mo, sir?
Huwag kang kabahan, kayang-kaya mo to.
Pag-gising ko sa umaga, nag-uunat ka to.
Typical. Gusto ko marinig, paano yung pag-report ni L.A. Santos kapag nagbabar? Oo, syempre sample naman, di ba?
Ano gusto niya aksidente? Dennis, nakakadusay pa dito sa aking harapan. Itong isang hindi pa nakikilalang lalaki, makarang pagbabarilin ng mga hindi pa nakikilalang suspect dito sa Santa Mesa. puting lab gown, naka-itim na pantalon at napakagandang sapatos.
Emerson is a global technology and engineering leader. We operate in over 150 countries. We are 110,000 employees worldwide. And here in the Philippines, we have over 2,000 employees.
My name is Vicky Florento. I'm from Dell Philippines. I'm handling the university relations and services hiring.
Pag-asa Steel supplies concrete reinforcing bars to the Philippines' booming construction industry. We have been the leading supplier of quality steel bars for the past 52 years.
EGS is an Alorica company. It is one of the fastest growing BPO companies in the Philippines right now.
I'm Cecil Venancio and I'm Branding and Communications Director of Sykes Asia.
We don't decide whether you're from a top-tier university or a state university. We decide based on our assessments that includes exams and interviews. Having said that, a lot of Dell's workforce in the Philippines are from PUP.
55 to 80 hires annually, those coming from PUP alone. And as a matter of fact, 14 of the homegrown employees who started from staff and supervisor have been promoted.
Currently, we have 13 employees from the PUP. They're working in a different field, so most of them are engineer, some are in sales, most of them are in the higher position.
There's a huge pool of students that we can really harvest from, and we know the reputation that they bring. So we're glad that we have a university like PUP that we can rely on for our future employees.
I love the graduates of PUP. They're not only fun to work with, but you can rely on them. They are very, very dependable.
PUP graduates are an exact match and fit to Pag-asa Steel's mission and vision.
The reason why we prefer the PUP graduates is the fact that we notice that they have a common denominator, very hardworking. See, whatever happens, they'd still work. Even if it's raining, they'd still come to work. You give them additional tasks, they'd accept. They are resilient.
Very passionate, aside from being resilient, because we can see that they're very dedicated with their job. And we've seen a lot of PUP graduates, not just in one department.
They turn out to adapt very well and adjust well to our company here in the Philippines. They're productive employees and they stay with us for a long time.
What stands out sa PUP graduate is their loyalty sa company namin. Integrity and ethics, drive for results, intellectual capacity, and adaptability. So when we hire PUPians, they have this kind of competencies.
Of course, they're very intelligent, responsible. Responsible in a sense because whenever we meet these graduates and we ask them what are their future plans, they would always come up with answers like helping out their family, or because I'm done with school, I'll help out another sibling. So you would know already that these kids, even before they actually embark on certain work, they already have goals in mind. They're not maarte, no? Whatever you give them, they know that if it's for the purpose of the job, they will do it. And so they have, they're the ones that survive the challenges of work. They don't shirk away from responsibilities. They're the type who, whatever the job requires, they're up for the challenge.
PUPians enable people everywhere to grow and thrive.
PUP is one of the pillars of the nation because it is an institution that provides good graduates, people who really contribute to the success of the community or to the success of the country.
To all the people associated with PUP, if you're a graduate, congratulations, and you should be proud of yourselves. For those of you that are students, Please continue the tradition, the proud legacy that your school has. Some of you, PUP, you work for us now. We appreciate you. We know you're good employees. For those of you that might work for us in the future, please consider us. We'd love to have you. We know that you make a great employee for Emerson.
PUPians, bring everything you are. If you have big ideas, let's talk. Come work where passion meets possibility. You can visit jobs.del.com for opportunities.
To pursue your dreams and work hard for whatever endeavor you will choose. And in the event that you will choose to apply in one of the fastest BPO companies in the Philippines, I would like to invite you to apply in EGS, an Alorica company, because our doors are open for all of you.
To all the PUPians, let's create a size of smile together.
SMART is very happy to have PUP graduates now enjoying their career and let them live more.
Hashtag Sites to PUP. We will support you in more ways than one.
Tara na, maging magkasama na tayo. Mabuhay ang PUP!
Noon pa man, malaki na ang naging bahagi ng mga kababaihan sa lipunang Pilipino. Kaisa sila sa marubdob na paghahangad ng kalayaan ng ating lahi. Kabilang sila sa paglinang ng ating makulay na sining at mayamang kultura. Kasapi sila sa pagtataguyod ng mga adhikain ng kapwa mamamayan at sa pagtugon sa mga pangangailangan ng lipunan. Katuwang sila sa pagtuklas sa mga larangan ng agham at medisina. Kapanalig sila sa pagpapairal ng batas, karapatan at katarungan para sa lahat. Kabahagi sila sa paglilingkod sa bayan at sa pagpapanatili ng demokrasyang Pilipino. Sa paglipas ng panahon, hindi nagmaliw ang kanilang pag-ibig sa ating inang bayan. Mga kababayan, ito ang alay ng mga kababaihang Pilipino para sa bayan. Tumayo po tayong lahat at sabay-sabay nating awitin ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang mag-ibig, pero sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dilim mo'y buhay. Lumang hinirang, gulat ka ng mag-ibig, sa manlulupin, di ka masisingil, sa lahat ng tulog, sa silang at sa lalim mong bahag, magilang ang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang isang ng patawad mo'y talumpay na namiligid, ang bituin at araw na kailan pa
Hi, I'm Engineer Florinda H. Oquindo, Director of the Alumni Relations and Career Development Office. The role of our office is to keep connections among students and alumni, provides complete range of services to students, alumni, and employers in the area of career development, graduates and professional schools preparations, employee relations, and campus recruitment. We also provide alumni and students with the tools and resources to help find success in all professional endeavors. To all freshmen, please come and visit us. Our office is located at N209 North Wing 2nd floor.
The price of success is hard work, dedication to the job at hand, and the determination that whether we win or lose, we have applied the best of ourselves to the task at hand. Ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to everyone, and welcome to BALIK SINTANG PAARALAN, the PUP Alumni Webinar Series 2022. Our event for today will surely give us a lot of learning about our topic, transitioning from a good leader to an exceptional global leader. It is my delight to be your MC today for this informative webinar. I am Avel Villagarde. I hope you will find the program we have lined up for you to be fruitful and engaging. Before anything else, I would like to know kung sino dito ang mga officers ng klase. Please type 1 sa mga officers natin na nandito sa Zoom at saka sa ating FB live streaming, yung mga audience natin doon. Nakikita ko, meron tayong mga audience doon. Okay, alumni and students. Ayan, ang dami. 1. Very good. Ang daming leaders, young leaders. Okay, kasama ang mga muse at escort ha, kasi technically, they can also influence their classmates to become neat and presentable at all times sa loob at labas ng klase. Ayan, tingnan natin. Ayan, may PUP, BPAOU, si Janine, si Dayog, si Sheena, si Joyce, dito kaya sa ating FB. Okay? We have also si Joy, si Marie. Ang dami nating officers. Okay. Sino naman dito yung laging sinasaway ng officers? Yung laging nami-mention ng officers? Please type ako po para sa mga laging nami-mention ng officers para sawayin. Let's see. Ayan. Meron ba? Aba, so far wala. Walang nasasaway. Siguro dahil wala tayo sa loob ng classroom, no? Walang nahuhuling maingay, nagtatakbuhan and everything. Ayan, may nag-raise na yan. Okay, sa taga-PUP Unison Quezon, yan. Si Angelo po, ayan, may na-mention. Si Angelo po, yes, yan. Meron talaga sa klase eh. May hindi nawawala talaga yung mga ganyang mga laging nasasaway. Pero part yun ng yung pag nagkita-kita kayo after 10 years, yung magtatawanan kayo. Kasi maaalala niyo yon, bakit siya sinasaway, ganon. So, I have one question. How often, class? How often tayo nasasaway ng mga officers? Madalas o pinakamadalas? Ganon ba yun? Okay, kidding aside, my question is, do you think, to our young leaders please type 2. Do you think if you have this integrity and influence para masabi natin na effective tayong leader? Let's see. Please type 2 doon sa mga leaders natin na nag-type 1 kanina kung tingin natin sa sarili natin, na-assess natin sa sarili natin na effective tayong leader. Let's see. 2. Yan. Siyempre, dapat, yes, effective akong leader. Yan, napapatunayan na natin yan. Okay, very good. Thank you. Why I'm asking you this? Because our speaker today, who is our notable alumni from BS in Clinical Psychology, will talk about transitioning from a good leader to an exceptional global leader. Interesting, right? And very timely. So please sit down, relax, and enjoy the rest of a fruitful morning. To kick off this morning's program, let us all listen to our university president deliver his opening remarks, Dr. Manuel M. Lee.
A pleasant day to everyone, to our university executive officials, VP Tom Testor, deans and directors, department heads, AVP Floroquindo, OJT coordinators, fellow faculty members, and to all our guest speakers, and most importantly, to our beloved students. Welcome and thank you for attending the BALIK SINTANG PAARALAN activity. Thank you to ARCDO for organizing and hosting this event, which provides a great opportunity for the university to continue to engage with our alumni. Our alumni, as stakeholders, will always play a critical role in fostering a culture of excellence at our university. Their voices are very important and significant in pointing us in the right direction, being key contributors to their respective industries, and we recognize their roles as our university's ambassadors. I believe that our alumni are always eager to give back to their alma mater, and this webinar series provides an excellent opportunity for them to do so. Thank you to all of our alumni guest speakers for taking the time to mentor your fellow scholar ng bayan. Your many stories of tribulations and triumphs will undoubtedly inspire our students who want to follow in your footsteps and use education to achieve success. Your presence here today sends a message of hope to all PUPians that despite many limitations, it is possible to rise and that success is within reach with hard work, determination, discipline, and drive. To all of our student participants, may you be inspired and learn from our guest speakers who have already walked the path you're about to take. Listen to the valuable lessons they are about to share, ask questions, and take advantage of this opportunity to gain an understanding of the topics they will be discussing. Always remember that the first step toward achieving one's goals is to learn from others, followed by the courage to apply what you have learned in your own life. The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt once said, kaya huwag kayong matakot mangarap sapagkat kung mayroon kayong courage at saka determination and you keep on trying, I am sure na makakamit ninyo ang mga magagandang pangarap. Kagaya ng ating mga matatagumpay na alumni na magbabahagi ng kanilang mga karanasan bilang scholar ng bayan. May you, like our successful alumni, finally find the path you want to take and believe that you can be the best at it. And may you never forget the words of our PUP hymn, gagamitin ang karunungan mula sa iyo para sa bayan. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Mabuhay ang Sintang Paaralan at pagpalain po tayo ng Panginoong May Kapal.
Thank you so much, President Muhi, for the heartwarming welcome remarks. So before we get started, I'm going to go through some reminders to ensure the smooth flow of our webinar. First, please note that your microphones and cameras are automatically turned off as you enter the Zoom meeting. Second, if you have questions to our speakers, please maximize the use of our chat box, which can be found at the bottom section of the screen, and comment section for our participants in the FB live streaming. Third, make sure your questions are concise and direct. By joining this activity, agree to participate in a recorded webinar that will be posted on related platforms such as websites, social media pages, and others. Kindly have your name and what school or organization you are connected to in our Zoom meeting. Next, digital certificate will be released 2 to 3 weeks after the conduct and be given to those who attended, participated, and completed the evaluation form. Sorry for the background. I'm in the office. Okay, from the end of the session. Okay. Lastly, kindly visit the PUP Alumni Facebook page and don't forget to like and share the live stream video so that other students can also learn and inspire by our webinar. Okay, I think everything is clear now and we are ready to continue our webinar. Allow me everyone to introduce our keynote speaker for today's webinar. Jason's corporate venture started in Singapore, where he worked as a brain trainer for a decade. Decided to start a family, he settled back in the Philippines. This passionate advocate of mental health in the workplace graduated with a degree in clinical psychology in the Philippines and earned a diploma in teaching and supporting children with special needs in Singapore. Currently, he is completing his thesis writing entitled The Lived Experiences of Employed PWDs and Seniors in the Philippines under Master of Arts in Guidance and Counseling. His achievements continue to soar high as he acquired his HR licenses with a globally recognized level of achievement within the field of human resources from CAHR United Kingdom and the prestigious CHRME Level 3 designation issued by American Certification Institute, Delaware, USA. Unknown to many, he has been featured online by famous social media blog posts and websites last 2021 when in Manila, when in Pampanga, and Scholarship Corner. As he completed 24 short courses from the top universities and elite companies internationally in just 3 days. Adding to a bunch of his accomplishments are 23 accomplished TESDA online courses, NC2 and NC3 in just 2 days. This life coach is a full-time employee as a people manager in one of the top 3 leading e-commerce enablers in Southeast Asia and continues to share his expertise in the workplace, empower employees, and prepare millennials for life as being part-time instructor at a city college. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you our keynote speaker for today. Let us give a heart reaction to Mr. Jakeson G. QUIATCHON.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Mavel, and thank you everyone for inviting me to this PUP alumni webinar series. So let me share my screen first. Okay, so while setting up the screen, I've seen a lot of people who are now leading, a young leader, right? And some of you also were asked kung sino ba sa inyo madalas na napagsasabihan din ng leader. So I think there's a leader and a follower there. Okay, let me check again if... Mama Vel, can you confirm if you can see now the screen?
Yes, sir, we can see the screen po.
Okay. Right. So again, the title of this session, as I need to facilitate, is the transitioning from a good leader to a global leader. And again, just wanted to say hello. You can also type in hello to our different platform, no? And just to give you a background, having spent the past decades of working with myriad leaders of diverse personalities and styles across both corporate and hyper-growth startup environment, I have come to appreciate the value of authentic and appreciative leaders. So yun yung dalawa na nakita ko, no? The appreciative and the authentic leader. That which includes yung and humbles, right? Everyone else to rallies them into an action. And that's what I've been looking to any company napapasukan ko or pag-a-applyan ko is to have that authentic and appreciative leadership. Okay? Wherein I need to see first if the leaders are trustworthy, honest, and above all, a good force of good that gives them purpose and meaning sa bawat isa. Right? And to be clear, not everyone can subscribe to and benefited from certain brand of leadership. Kasi as you go on or as you apply, okay, to any company, there are a lot of brands in terms of leaderships or styles. Okay, still, what I can see, okay, just to give you an overview is the authentic leadership appeals a big part of talent demographics. That's how we build people. And I have worked with people and top management and can hardly fault it for its straightforward and relatable approach. After all, gaano nga ba kadali, di ba? Na mag-work together with these leaders if you have that kind of environment that has an authentic and appreciative environment, and you can see more value of that. So when people usually ask me, okay, for an advice on a career move, my default response is choose the type of leader you would want to work for or you want to become. Okay, it could be very well make or break any trajectory at its best and challenge your values or destroy your souls at worst. So beyond anything, leadership values influence the best of us and inform our own personal world views. Okay, that's a world views. And also before we knew it, it became also a reflection of very own values that we uphold and honor even to our Sintang Paaralan, or we have our own self or principles in ourselves. Okay, now if you combine these two, it will largely link to a leadership values to any companies that you are going to or any organizations that you wanted to build, and therefore know that what you stand for and seek clarity, and thus your inner peace, okay? Yung iyong kapayapaan sa iyong puso on the values that you are to observe before you commit to any move. So again, hello everyone, and thank you for inviting me. Right, so before, this is just an introduction. The purpose of this and my objective is for you to guide, okay, and meet a leader you want to be. Okay, if you are going to meet a leader you want to be, okay, or let's put it in a way that yung leader na yan ay ikaw, okay, how would you envision yourselves? And as you know, not everyone was cut out to be a leader. And not everyone should be one. Mahirap naman lahat, di ba? Lahat ay leader. Medyo, ano na yun, kakaibang environment ang meron tayo nun if there's no follower, right? Following the wrong leaders can also be regretful and painful. And I've seen and experienced those things from the past. Okay, as shared with the introduction by Mama Bell, I've been working in an industry for more than a decade. And I've followed through a lot of leaders, and I can see that following wrong leaders can really be regretful and painful. And as one, too many of us have read about and learned in some way what is what's leadership, and perhaps also meron tayong karanasan. Okay, ano nga ba yung pagiging leader? Okay, and if you are a leader now, okay, definitely it's a skill that was learned and can be unlearned as well pag hindi natin nagagamit. Okay, we are leader in our own ways. Okay, kung meron kang kapatid, kung meron kang asawa o anak, okay, you are now leading them. Right? So that's why it's very crucial for you to be able to discern the leaders you would want to become or work for kung hindi malinaw sa iyo. Okay? So now with that in mind, I crystallized my thoughts on some plausible leadership attributes to look out for in leaders who are catalysts for your personal and professional growth. But my objective for today is at the end of this session is for you to know what leader you want to be. Okay? As an overview, leadership does not belong to those on the top of organizations. So meaning, even you are on a rank and file, kasi may level yan, di ba, sa organization. Like rank and file, your supervisory, your managers, and some executive. Okay? Even you're not on the top management, okay, in your organizational hierarchy, nor does not apply to people who have what we would commonly consider qualities of leadership. But I want you to think of your own experience of what leaders you've interacted with throughout your life. Okay, so chances are there are numbers of different leadership styles represented, and that's true. Sometimes malilito ka, no? You're following a supportive, okay? You're following more of para strict na leadership, okay? Or one-minded, yung isa ang dami niyang gusto ring gawin, okay? So those are the representation of leadership. However, most of them probably possess a similar set of good leadership qualities. Okay, so that's why I'll be sharing with you later on what is good, okay, and having that good leadership qualities or skills, how can it be an exceptional or being a great leader? Okay, that draw from you to be a successful. But before we start, kailangan nating himay-himayin muna yung mga salita na ating gagamitin din, okay, in terms dito sa ating discussion. So leading, number one is leading. It's a management technique which is a pattern of behavior that integrates sa organizational requirements with personal interest. So when we say leading, it defines not just a direction but an objective. Okay, so there's an objective, and leading requires your ability, your skills, and your strategies that can be practiced and have the persistency and to develop and also be improved. So leaders must also possess a model of integrity, as what mentioned by Ms. Novell during the introduction and the probing questions on the introduction. Na meron integridad, that someone who is honest and also trustworthy. And teams whose members do not trust each others and their leaders cannot really collaborate effectively. So that's number one. If you have some trust issue, kung sinaktan ka ng iyong kasintahan before, okay, at nahirapan ka ibalik yung trust, and you generalize, you stereotype that all people, no, ay hindi mo na kagad mapagkakatiwalaan, mahirap na mag-lead. Okay, because if you don't trust each other, then your leadership will be compromised. And effective leaders accomplish great things not by their own actions but people who follow them. Okay, so it's somewhat dependent on people who followed you, but through your influence on people who follow you, then you can change their mindset, and these people can be called like a transactional leadership. So changing the minds in a quiet huddle, right? And they are at the same time transformational leaders. So transactional, ito yung parang more on operational. Okay? Sila yung gumagawa. Okay? Transformational leaders, these are people who create change in the head, okay, of the parade. Okay? So those are the effective leaders. And leading is easy when things go smoothly, right? So when you take over, for example, a position and your department or yung isang pulong or isang grupo, okay, is maayos when you took that leadership, madali kung napapatakbo ng maayos. But when obstacles appears or conflict arise, then members of the team are more likely to support or follow ngayon ang leader. Okay? Because they are believe, okay, that to follow a leader should be capable and trustworthy. Okay? Of course, a gifted leaders and let's say a manager can appear deceptively easy as well. And the best performer managers may never seem to manage performance, but they are managing more people. And leaders never stop planning. So, kaya kung madalas no makikita niyo mga executive or even you yourself, if you consider yourself as a leader, you have a pen and paper, you have a notes on your cell phone, at madalas nagpaplano kayo, use the calendar. Okay, uso pa noon nung panahon namin yung parang calendar sa notebook, and you use all those things. And is always ready to modify or abandon a plan that has served its purpose. Plan that has served its purpose. So leaders inspire their teams not simply by having a vision, but by sharing that vision. Okay? If you are a leader, whether you have a mission and vision, but as a leader, you are more of a visionary kasi hindi nakikita ng iba pero somewhat na-foresee mo na. Okay? So that's part of leading. And when we talk about leadership, you can read the quote, the famous quote here, that the challenge of leadership is to be strong. I like this quote, okay, from Jim Rohn. Okay, leadership is to be strong but not rude, be kind but not weak, be bold but not bully, be thoughtful but not lazy, be humble but not timid, be proud but not arrogant, be humor but without folly. So leadership as opposed to a leader is not classified by a person, okay, but rather as a process. So when we talk about leadership, it's a process. And leadership can be defined as a process of influencing a group, your team, your organization, or kung ano man naiisip mo na meron kang kasama na isa, dalawa, or dalawa or more. Okay? So leadership, therefore, can be exercised by anyone. Okay? By anyone. So I need to repeat the word by anyone. In the group and not necessarily by the formal leader. Even in the introduction, I've shared with you that you don't need to hold a position to be a leader. And these are like, for you to remember easily. Okay, what's leadership? So these are the attributes ng na pwede nating gamitin. So there's a loyalty, excellence. So being a good leader, have this attitude and discipline. Your education is there. So it doesn't mean an education is tapos ka ng pag-aaral, but you can lead, no? Even you are a student yet, right? So reliability, service, humility, integrity, and purpose. Okay? So now I want you to type on your chat box. I'll be looking at the chat box for you. What's important to a leader or during the process? Okay? During the process, what's important to you? Is it motivation, mentor, ethics, influence, support, decision, management, communication, teamwork, vision, contribution, responsibility? So giving you 20 seconds to type on your chat box, ano-ano nga ba para sa'yo ang importante when we talk about leadership? Okay, so let me check. Okay, motivation, sabi ni, sorry, ang bilis, no? Okay, sabi ni Francis, all of the above. Sherwin, communication. Nadine, vision. Iron, communication. June Marquez, communication and motivation. Okay, Sir Pineda is communication, vision, communication. Most of you has this word communication. Okay, so hero, right? Motivation, mentoring, sabi ni Miss Luminda. Okay. So you have this in your mind, what's leadership? And for you, most of the people in this room, communication is very important. And when we say communication, hindi yun yung how eloquent are we. Okay? Later on, I'll be explaining what's communication. Now, in terms of leader, very simple. Of course, it's a person, talking about it's an action to lead. Okay? But it reminds me of the quotation given by Sir Richard Branson that lead by listening. To be good leader, you have to be great listener. And just a while ago on the chat box, most of you commented about communication. And part of communication is yung ating pakikinig. At kung hindi tayo marunong makinig, then it will be difficult for us, it will be challenging for us to be a great leader. Okay, so great listener equals great leader. Now here, okay, so as a leader for you, what's the another important word, or maybe you can choose two words na tingin mong nag-pop up sa iyong isipan. Okay, yung first word or first two words na nag-pop up sa'yo. Okay, being a leader. Sabi ni Sir Angelo, support. Okay, so yun yung una na nakita niya dito sa word na sa leader. Sabi ni Joem Clee, flexible. Sir June, innovator and solution. Jeswell, smart. Okay, let's wait for some more. Nicole, innovative. Si Kabigan is innovative and top. And then transform, exclusive, flexible, sabi ni Miss Luz Biminda. All right. And then Marbs, empower, recharge, decision. So it's really, this validates yung kaninang statement natin about the brand leadership, that there's a lot of representation ng leaders. Depende sa kung ano man ang ating karanasan o kung ano man ang ating kagustuhan sa kanila or maaaring sa ating sarili. Okay? So now, being a leader is, here's are the things. Number one, if you can lend a helping hand. E, to encourage. A, listen, always listen. Okay, it's always part of being a leader or in the leadership. Okay, D is do the right thing. And then E, exceed expectations. R, respect. And S, set an example. Okay, because a lot of us, any environment, kahit young ones, okay, we need to set an example. That's why when I told you a while ago, even you are a brother, okay, an elder brother, you have friends, you're only son or daughter, but you have friends, okay, you can be leader. You're a father, okay, you can lead your wife, your sons, okay, you're a mother, you can lead your children, right? So again, these are some of the leaders, qualities of the leaders: visionary, being inspired, communication, and these are again things that really matters, right? So whenever I ask people what's important to you being a leader, and these are some of the common words they will throw to me. Pag leader, dapat may relationship siya. So even as an HR leader in our organizations, okay, makikita mo doon na when you resolve conflicts, okay, may mga sets of expectation yung mga tao sa leaders. Okay? And one cannot be the same to others. Okay? Yung isa naman applicable sa kanya and then the others are not. Okay? And later on, as we will explore some of the qualities here, being a good leaders are these. So number one, they have the focus. Okay? It's very hard to follow a leader which is a double-minded, yes, no mamaya. Okay? Gagawin natin to pero later, hindi. Okay? So focus. Integrity. Okay? Our character can be tested when we are alone. Right? But integrity can be tested pag wala tayo sa room. Ano yung sinasabi sa atin? And later on there's a quote for that. Transparency. Even sa pinakamahirap na sitwasyon, you need to be transparent to them. What went wrong? What's good about the organization or to the group? And what are the things needs to improve? Innovation is also part of our values, should be part of our values. Mahirap kasi kung hindi tayo nagbabago or we don't really adapt to changing environment, okay, change of management, leadership, okay, so innovation, technology, okay, diversity. Okay? So any organization or company now, there's a diversity and inclusion. Okay? You need to work from a diverse people from Gen Z, okay, millennials, ano pa. So all those, no, diversity from even to different walks of life. And then professionalism. Okay, know as you value your work, you value people, you talk with them professionally, okay, you appear to be expert, but of course there's a skill on that, okay, and people would always look after you, not hide from you. Okay, mahirap yon. It means you are not doing your work, being a leader. Okay, so work professionally, and it's another topic to be discussed. What's professional and unprofessional? What's ethical and unethical to others? Okay, so here are some of the skills of good leaders. So again, if you heard the quote of John Maxwell that says, leadership is influence, that's very basic. Okay, as you lead, there should be influence. Okay, now the key to successful leadership today is influence, not authority. Unlike before, uy, ako leader, di ba? Ako yung leader ng group, ako yung leader ng class. I need to impose this. Okay? And there is an authority. But nowadays, okay, leadership equates to the influence. Right? So, number one is strategic thinking. Nung bago ako nag-work, sabi ko, ano nga ba to? Lagi kong naririnig sa mga top management, no? Because I work in a global company. That's my first job. I cannot divulge it now. But I work in a global company as my first job after I graduated as a 19-year-old. So I got hired thinking yung manager ko thought, the manager thought that I was 24 years old. So I celebrated my birthday 20 years old after a year with them. Okay? Sabi niya, oh, kala ko is 24 ka na. Maybe because of my height, because of the way I speak, my maturity. And even with all those skills I have from our Sintang Paaralan, from the experience I've had before, from the challenges I've faced and overcome, I always hear the word strategic thinking. And soon, if you are a student and you are about to lead people, or you are going to an organization, you will hear then strategic thinking. Lagi kong iniisip, ano nga ba to? So when we talk strategic, thinking strategically, it involves seeing the big picture. Okay? You're not solving the problems now, but you are providing and planning solutions, okay, kahit hindi pa nangyayari. It's ahead of time and putting thoughts into actions, okay, because as shared with you, are visionary. So you're putting your thoughts into actions and typically gain competitive advantage in the business. Okay, so if you were able to provide solutions before a problem would arise, then that could be a strategic thinking. Now, planning and delivery. Okay, as mentioned before, leaders do a lot of planning. Hindi pwedeng, okay, come what may, bahala na. Okay, now there's a lot of project management tools like Asana, Trello. If you're using those things already, Monday.com, you can see that in the ads. Okay, now dati, Gantt chart, di ba? Dapat may Gantt chart ka, tinitignan mo, you are tracking or you are logging in your activities. And until such time that you can accomplish a certain project. Now there's a tools for that. And having that planning and putting it into your delivery or deliverables. So project management is important. Okay, as you log, you document and follow every project management phase from day one or from the start to your completion. And as you allocate as well some of the resources na meron ka. Okay, And along the way, during the process, planning is still very important because you will see some of the risk, okay? And you can take the measures of that, okay? So that's why even on our society now, yung part ng risk or people who documented it, binibili rin yun ng company. Okay? People who, the information are being bought by the company. So, yung mga ganun, that's why if you can document it as well, even your challenges, your successes, makikita mo that next time, it's very easy to handle those things. Number 3 is people management. So when we talk about this, it defines as a set of practices that encompasses the end-to-end processes of talents acquisition. Okay? Kung ikaw ay leader, alam mo kung paano mag-nurture, mag-retain ng talents, and even have the continuous support, okay, for the business and guidance ng employees sa isang organization or to your group. So you are looking at their strengths and not their weaknesses. You are utilizing their capabilities, okay, not breaking them. Okay, perhaps you as a leader can be broken for a while, di ba? Na eto yung iyong learning curve. But if you are a leader, then the guidance to your subordinates, to your team members are there. Okay, so next is change leadership, is a proactive approach to change management. Okay, now it's also an opportunity for growth and improvement rather than a fixed project, fixed mind. And change leaders create an inspiring vision and advocate these visions throughout the organization. So change management is also important. Change leaders can also take a place for the people-centric approach na mas titignan niya ang mga tao as a helping hand. Now, number 5, as what most of you agreed as well, being a good leader, communication is there. And leadership communication is a type of communication that's commonly used by leaders to relay their informations, their thoughts about the company's culture, the values, the missions, the crucial messages, okay, to build trust and encourage people. Okay, in our practice, it involves delivering a shared vision, your goals, how to achieve the targets, and inspire others by buying into the visions. Okay, number 6, influence. Okay, can you can you click the heart button if you agree that a leader should have a persuasion and influence? And when we talk about influence, is having a vision of wherein you can reach your optimum outcome for a situation or organization, and then without using force or coercion, motivating your people to work together towards making a vision into reality. So that's part of the influence, right? Now, also, number 7, being a leader, you must be self-aware. Minsan kasi, di ba, napapangunahan tayo ng galit. Okay? If we have a problem in an anger management before, and now that you are leading the team, and you still cannot control that. Hindi mo alam kung magiging triggering point yung sitwasyon na yon. So if you're not self-aware, which is also an essential trait for being a good leader, okay, it'll be very hard to lead the team, okay, or even to make a decision. Okay, so, and the last one that I wanted to highlight here, being a good leader, is your learning agility, which refers to an individual's ability to educate themselves. Okay, now that you are self-aware, which ultimately leads others to do the same, if you know you are self-aware, and now learning agility is the ability to educate yourselves, and then you adapt to changing condition and make sense of any uncertainties that you face. So these skills is very crucial for everyone but leaders, to you, okay, or to young leaders, to a leader who's listening now, especially to leaders listening now. So this is because the flow of information and competitions move in a fast pace, right? So learning agility is there. Now, if we have the good leaders, definitely we have the bad leaders. And looking at this picture, what really makes a bad leaders and poor leaders fail to inform others by decisions being made, right? So if there's a decision in an organization, to your school, to your class, and he fails to inform others of whatever the decision has been made, then that's the start of being a bad leader. But so they don't also clarify important things with people and are parang nasusurpresa yung iba. Okay? At mahirap na nilang intindihin yon o habulin yon. They also assume others na meron silang parehas na opinion at hindi sila nagbibigay ng feedback or dismissive when they receive it. They can't really take any constructive criticism. So there are a lot of traits for being a bad leader. That could be an opposite of good leader, right? So like for example, conflict avoidant, lack of flexibility, yung my way, not your way, right? Ano pa? Rationalizing poor or unethical conduct na ginagawa nila yung mali and then they rationalize it to you. They also have lack of track records. They don't really document. At mahirap yun, no? They will judge you based on what they feel. And they have the inability to create or conform to company culture. My way is not your way. Definitely a poor communication skills and self-centered. So that's the bad leadership. And now, as you can see here, they always rubs in mistake. Hindi sila maka-move on. Mahirap yun, di ba? Yung kasalanan mo 5 years ago, nasa performance management kayo ngayon, and they are quoting your mistakes from the 5 years ago, or even from yesterday, which should be addressed kahapon, hindi ngayon. Right? So, vague in goals and desired outcomes. So those are some of the skills ng bad leaders. But what, again, a part of the things that we need to highlight, isa sa nahimay natin is to have that exceptional global leaders. Now, thinking about the quote of Tom Peters, that leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. So that's another exceptional characteristics or attributions of an exceptional global leader. So as you can see here, number one, overseas experience. Okay, overseas meaning talagang you are exposed. Okay, you're exposed, not overseeing. Okay, so overseas experience, like many global executives understand what doing a business in a flat world is like because they've lived overseas, right? And sometimes for decades at a time, right? So for me, it helps me to be a good leader as I've seen multicultural people like in Singapore, Malaysia, Vietnam, Southeast Asia, and working with different people as well, okay, from the walks of life na meron din sa kanila. And I've listened well to their experiences, how they go through to a lot of challenges or how they've reached on top. Okay, and if you want to become a successful international business leader, you need to transcend your own cultural perspective. You are not changing it, pero you're nakapark siya sa iyong isipan na eto ka. Siyempre, kung saan ka nagmula, right? But you're using all those strengths to transcend sa iyong cultural perspective and learning how really business is done in different contexts is very essential. Right? Now, also cautiously honest. So surprisingly, the definition of honesty and truth varied widely in the business arena. Kasi sometimes, honesty and truth, sabi nila, di ba, may good lie, may white lies, mga ganyan in terms of business. Okay? People sometimes omit information or only tell the truth they think other people need to know. That could be right. However, you design your ethics and your morality in your personal life. Okay? That's why there is a job fit, there is a culture fit. Minsan titignan mo kung yung company ba is fit sa iyong personal ethics and morality. Right? As well as in global business settings. So now executives need to know they can count on you if you are cautiously honest. Now, if you don't deliver your business promises or deliverables, your reputation will also suffer. Okay? If you're a businessman, sinabi mo na, okay, I'll do this next day at hindi mo siya ginawa. That could be the same if you are a leader. Now, effective global leaders can balance the need to be cautious in different contexts while demonstrating they can follow through. Right? That's why I said a while ago that could be true. Okay? You tell the truth, okay, but not that you're lying, but or you balance cautiously in different contexts, and you also demonstrate what you can follow through. And next is a good negotiator. In life and in this world now, negotiation is very important. So if you are a good negotiator, kung ikaw ay dating nagtitinda ng or tumatawad man, okay? Mahilig tumawad sa tindahan. Okay? The good negotiator is one of the global leadership skills. And like, for example, doing a business across ethnics, okay, nationals and regionals, international, global boundaries requires strong negotiating skills. Now, if you can also add these skills to an innate enjoyment, to a gamesmanship involves in negotiating, then you will become a highly effective negotiator. Okay? So itong mga skills na to is very important. That's why a while ago I shared with you na hindi mo kailangang baguhin totally. Ang iyong karanasan is importante para matweak mo pa at mapaganda mo at maging epektibo kang leader. Now, next is a lifelong curiosity. So, being a lifelong curiosity, marami kasi yan. There is a perspective, personal perspective. There's also employability perspective and professional. Okay? Yung employability is professional. So when we talk about the personal perspective, you're eager to learn. You dissect, you analyze, you scrutinize. Now, in terms of academic perspective naman, you shows determination. Kung ikaw ay isang mag-aaral, okay? Now, ang iyong lifelong curiosity shows that you have this determination to explore the unknown. You discover the undiscovered. You know the unknown, right? And is self-motivated to improve and develop understanding outside a classroom. Totoo yan, no? Ang ating sintang paaralan ay hindi nagtuturo ng kung anong nasa apat na sulok ng ating silid-aralan. Okay? They teach us life. They show us what life outside, and we learn from that, not by the book, but by experience. And now, in terms of a lifelong curiosity in employability perspective, we treat problems with a solutions-oriented, mindset, di ba? Yun yung nasa isip natin na dapat may solusyon. Kung may problema, may solusyon. Okay? At walang problemang walang solusyon. You must agree with me on that. Okay? Now, that's also the mindset of a leader. It also embraces learning, okay, and training opportunities to excel at work, and you explore other skills. I will tell you at the later part what are the skills. Okay? Kung wala ka pa noon, maaring pwede mo pa siyang i-develop. Okay? Kasi ayun yung isa sa mga hinahanap ng isang empleyado o maaring ikaw ay gusto maging leader na kailangan mong magkaroon ng ganong skills. Now, also patiently impatient. Now, how do you become patiently impatient? Ang hirap, no? Ano nga ba itong patiently impatient? Now, you must be in a hurry and yet be patient enough to allow the local, for example, and regional processes to unfold as they are meant to. So, like for example, in my case, I'm a people manager or people lead in the Philippines, but we're working in a regional as well, in Southeast Asia. Now that we have an Essential company acquired us, Intrepid, okay, Asia. So now we're changing some of the processes from local, regional to global processes. And we need to wait that processes to unfold that can benefit us. So it's very important that yung oras, okay, time and a pace are not the same in every country. So you need to balance the demands of hot competitive or the priority and the technological trends with the pace of your local culture can be frustrating initially. Right? Kasi if you have this global thinking, okay, nandun yung iyong paggalaw locally, pero ang iyong kaisipan, ang iyong pag-embrace sa technology could balance as well. Okay? So patiently impatient. That can lessen your frustration when it will happen. Now, for the last one, being exceptional global leader is the presence. Okay, a certain charisma surrounds yourself. Okay, you as an influential global leader. So part of it, but only part. Okay, part of it. Again, it's just a part. Is a position or title, right? It's just a part. Now the bigger portion is to be your dress, your self-confidence, your energy level, your interest in other people, and comfort with the challenges at hand. Now, you may not want to believe this, but they do. Okay, part of it is your position or your title. It's still very, very important. And as a global business leader, as a global leader, you must respect the identifies and affiliations of others. Okay? Now, some people can do that, many and most cannot. Now, ang question ay, meron ka ba na ganitong kapasidad to become a global leader? Okay? So, itong nakikita nyo sa screen, exceptional leaders, global leaders. Do you have these? And there could be many more but these are just, again, highlight of what we have. Now, few more things. I wanted to highlight a collaborative inquiry. Okay, this is a powerful approach to engaging all levels of organizations. When we say collaborative inquiry or initiative, and many organizations have used collaborative inquiry to co-create, okay? Kasama silang mag-create ng isang sistema or proseso or approach sa isang bagay. Okay? And again, like John Maxwell shared to us that a leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way. That's John Maxwell famous quote, right? And most of the people now they take advantage of Google survey or Google Forms to have this collaborative inquiry. And even to our organizations, that's one of the effective ways to get people inquiries. Now, here I'd like to highlight as well, what are the things, no? What are the things for the collaborative inquiries? Number one, we create a common vision and strategy. So you accelerate organizational learning. You foster labor management collaboration. Okay, marami sa organization ngayon is still like pababa. Kung ano yung sinabi ng isang organization, pababa. Okay? Pero makikita natin yung kakaibahan ng isang organization kung nakikinig sila sa baba at binibigyan nilang solusyon sa taas. Okay, like inverted funnel and funnel. Okay, so makikita mo rin doon kung yung iyong ethics nga ba, okay, is kaparehas na organization, or else magka-clash kayo lagi. Okay, kung ikaw gusto mong mapakinggan pero hindi ka pinapakinggan, mahirap, di ba? Mahirap magtrabaho. Now, there are a lot of approaches to address that, but that's again another topic. Now, you also create dialogues to foster shared meaning. Okay, when we say dialogue, it should be professionally done and like a focus group discussion. Now, you also improve internal and external communication. It's not just reaching within your organization, but even to your clients, to your associates, and to your affiliates. And then you strengthen implementation of information technology initiatives na alam mo na ang technology ay makakatulong, di ba, sa maraming bagay para sa atin. And work towards sustainability. Now, having the solution is just a part and piece ng pagiging leader, but to make it sustainable na tuloy-tuloy. Okay, that's why strategic thinking is very important. Tuloy-tuloy is importante sa ating lahat bilang leaders. Now, you also create trust among team members, stakeholders, and clients. Okay, and build high performance team to facilitate change. Kasi hindi pwedeng ikaw lang ang gumagawa or nagsasabi ng change. Mahirap yun. Now, appreciative leadership, as what shared with you, authentic and appreciative leadership is one of the skills of global, an exceptional global leader. Now, here it reminded me of a quote, famous quote of Brian Tracy. Sabi niya, become the kind of leader that people would follow voluntarily. Okay, even if you had no title or position. Okay, so to appreciate a person, I think hindi mo kailangan ng title or position, right? You can appreciate people even na ang iyong sitwasyon as hindi pa talaga totally nag-lead. As a follower, you can appreciate your leaders. Then leaders can resonate your appreciation to them. But of course, not all leaders can do that. But that could be an exceptional global leaders. Okay, and many of the people I've worked for, na global leaders, they really do appreciate. They are very detailed to tell you, I like the way you did this report. What kind of report? Okay, I like the way when you say the word this. So it's very specific. Now, dito sa ating appreciative leaders, you need to know they belong. They feel that their contribution is valued. It's very important. And maybe you can read through some of these, but appreciative leaders can be found in every walk of life and in very sort of enterprises. So they also hold everyone in high regards. They look through appreciative eyes to see the best in their people, in your teams, okay? And also, they treat with respect and dignity. They believe everyone has a potential, everyone has a strength and needs to be fulfilled and accomplished. Okay? And find and nurture those strength. And binibigay nila yung way na mas madali. Hindi sila nagiging pahirap. Okay? But they do find and nurture those strengths. And when an appreciative leader does that, okay, or being you as a global leader do that, you can turn creative potentials into a positive power. You also creates a rifle effect in terms of the confidence ng mga tao. Kasi mahirap, di ba? Pag ikaw tuloy-tuloy na re-reject, parang ayaw mo nang gawin yung isang bagay. Di ba? Parang kahit gawin ko to mare-reject na lang. So better, hindi na lang. Di ba? So there is a rifle effect ng confidence kung hindi mo man gawin yon or gagawin mo. Okay? Merong energy na magpo-flow within your team and organization. The enthusiasm and the performance can be improved in a world class, di ba? Kasi ang mga Pilipino are very creative. They can find solutions from nowhere talaga. And they can set strategies and relate all those practices that can make things happen. Okay? If a person is appreciative, they assume that each person has an innate source of goodness and potential awaiting recognitions and realizations. Hindi nila iniisip, they don't assume na ito, hindi niya magagawa. But he assumed that there is a goodness and also potential to unlock. And sense of potential can also turn it into life-affirming results. Now, most of us, okay, also in psychology, di ba, if there's a successes before, there could be a repetitive successes na mangyayari. So if there is, sino sa inyo, di ba, nung bata tayo, nagkaroon ng medal, di ba? Sinabitan tayo at we felt na, uy, eto, or someone just awarded us, even not a medal or honor roll, but someone appreciate us, rewarded us, recognized our achievements. Okay? And there is a repetitive success. Now, ulit-ulit yun. So, ganun din sa ating team members. Now, if you put that in your mind being a leader, you have that sense, you can sense their potentials. Okay? And that would help them to affirm kung ano yung kanilang strength. Alright? So, you also see their, or shows positive power even in terms of distressing situations. So as you go through and read yung mga bullets pa to know that they are contributing to a greater good. Now, there are 5 I's na gusto ko rin sa inyong i-share. So number 1 is inquiry, which requires managers or leaders, supervisors to ask their teams to share their thoughts. Okay? Illumination, pag sinabi niyan, or narinig nyo, it means that help team members understand their strength. Okay? Like luminaw, lumiwanag. Okay? It became more clear. Okay? And also inclusion, it gives the members sense of ownership. So when you include them in the decision, okay, hindi lang ikaw ang nagde-decide, remember. Pag in-include mo sila, so there is an open door of collaboration and also co-creation. Even when you decide, kasama sila. So they have that sense of ownership. Now, inspiration provides your team member sense of directions. So by forging your visions, you as a leader can create the foundation of transformation, innovation, and also sustainable high performance. When we talk about integrity, it tells our team members what is expected of them. Okay? Hindi lang pwedeng ginagawa nila yung kanilang nakasanayan. Okay? And when you set or when you share with them what is expected of them and what they can expect from each other, gagalaw sila with integrity, with confidence. Now, when also as a leader can lead integrity, kung ang iyong leader or you yourself has that integrity, they can create standard on the team. Okay? Kaya kung magtataka kayo, bakit hindi kami pare-parehas? Baka you need to have a self-check if you are a leader. Because you need to create, you need to have that integrity so you can create a standard on your team. Now, a compelling to strive. So here, from my experience working and for the leaders, okay, working with and for the leaders, I find that these are the leaders who are compelling to strive for and who will grow exponentially at the end of the day are really have these skills. Itong nandyan sa screen. And someone, number one, someone who's reflective, not reactive. Okay? So this is almost assures you that leaders is more there to listen first, to understand, and last to judge. Okay? So now the exact opposite ng someone who always wants to have the last say, okay? And quick to assign to blame. So kung ang iyong leader or kung ikaw ay reactive, magkakaroon ng blame game. Yung pasapasahan, turo-turo, di ba? Sino may kasalanan? Okay? So with a leader who understand and is reflective, then you tend to be more receptive sa anumang criticism or construct. And there is an action plan sa feedback that would allow you to be a leader and to learn and grow together. Okay? Now, a self-professed WIP. Ano nga ba yung WIP? Maybe you can type WIP sa inyong chat box. So WIP is work in progress. Okay? A leader who embraces humility creates a climate of psychological safety. Marami sa atin, di ba? Kung ang leader natin sinabi, I know everything, or parang wala ka nang pupuntahan, okay? That they don't allow you to have that work in progress. So there is psychological unsafety or feeling sa atin, and instantly providing us a precondition for healthy work cultures and form that should be sustained, di ba? Pero kung wala, yung ganito sa iyong leader, maring ikaw iniisip mo kaagad, mahirap mag-work sa ganito. And hopefully, you know, your ego is not bigger than the universe. Okay? Your ego should not be bigger than the universe. And at the same time, this is a type of leader that's often someone who is capable of taking feedback, like a champion, okay, to champion you, and inviting others to have candidly at least view to develop their self or to serve others. Now, you can almost commit no wrong by being candid, right? Kasi kapag ikaw ay parang fix, di ba? That could be yes or no. But you can be candid and thus not take it personally. Okay? Now, a constant leader who proactively engages others without fail. Okay? Ibig sabihin, tuloy-tuloy ang iyong pag-cheer sa iyong team members. I know being a leader can be exhausting in your side, but that's being a leader, right? And as they solve problem and not expecting you to figure out while, for example, yung mga critics or pangutya, okay, or underperforming, ano yung gagawin nila after? So this will be somebody you can count on to have your back no matter what. Okay? Kasi darating ang panahon, ikaw din ay manghihina and you will see your team members will cheer you up. Now, sincerely trust others. We discussed how why we need to trust others, okay? And there should be a transparency. And when we talk about transparency, you will be the order of the day, or as a leader, ito ay is part ng authority, di ba? Na hindi mo ina-ask bakit kanila kailangang pagkatiwalaan. Okay? So, hindi mo ina-ask bakit kanila kailangang pagkatiwalaan. Right? But you give it to them why they are trustworthy. And that could really materialize, especially when there is a micromanaging business, okay, that was in place. Now, a trustworthy figure, when we talk about this is someone whom you can find yourself respecting, growing under, and trusting. So essentially, etong trust or sincerely trust other, or trustworthy, has the integrity to do things right, to follow through on what was promised, and you also honor them. Okay, in that events, you should not turn away what you're supposed to do. So as a leader, one should have the courage to own up whatever you promise, as shared, no, na kailangan i-honor mo yung iyong salita. So the leader who also commands respect is one who gets the respects. So this is an individual who does not undermine others and judge them in words or their deeds. Okay? And as a mentor, coach, being a trainer, or learning and being a thought partner, this is someone who builds you. Okay? Being an exceptional global leader is you are keen to see the successes. Okay? You celebrate successes of other people. Wala na yung inggit. Okay? And you personally is interested in your own growth. Kasi nawawala ang inggit kasi you are now focusing on your own growth. So the person will not stop you from making your career move, for example, or taking the new portfolio that is set for you to learn. Right? Now you are also include conversations in your surrounding, your future career directions, and you invite to join in like this, the webinars, the conferences, and exchanges to give the exposure to get where you wanted to be. Now, the last one is objectively makes decisions. So as a fair-minded decision maker, whilst there is no one to make a sound decision, this person has strong, calculated reasons for decision making. That also involves others, as shared with you, that you are not deciding on your own, but you are involving others, and you are transparent and fair in disturbing rewards, the recognitions for their contributions. So the last that you would want to do to cultivate that is simply because the leaders is directly encouraging their formations due to the behaviors associated, di ba? Madalas kapag nagde-decide tayo, nafe-feel natin or there is a favoritism. So usually that behavior is associated with favoritism if we don't decide in a fair-minded decision. So above this list na nandyan naka-flash sa inyong screen is not exhaustive by any means, but I hope they will give you somewhat indicative glimpse into what a global leaders or an exceptional global leaders who grow others look like, and have personally benefited. Really, I really personally benefited from these perceptions of a global leaders, and of course of my career, whom I have all the gratitudes in the world for. Now, few more things what to know about global leaders is to prioritize team culture. As we create global leaders which are intentional about defining what it means to be a part of the team. Now, how also people show up, what is expected of them. So you build or you prioritize team cultures. Okay, and how to do that? You need to the word is involvement. You need to be involved. Now, number two is bringing the best. I shared with you a while ago that you need to understand how to bring the best out of each person. And the best leader can inspire people to contribute more and aim higher than they would otherwise. So they inherently understand yung situational leaders, which they adopt leadership styles and the whole dynamics, lahat ng branch ng leadership on how to deal with it. Of course, number three, they are cool under pressure. Yan. So, ang hirap ngumiti, di ba, after pagalitan ka ng boss. There should be no transference. It means the boss or the owner ay nagalit sa'yo kasi you didn't achieve your target, and after it, you're going to face your team. Ang hirap ngumiti, di ba? So, part of the cool under pressure or work under pressure is to have that you need to compartmentalize, at least put it on one side muna of your brain. Okay, ito yung nangyari, you use your critical analytical thinking, what should be done and the solutions, and how are you going to deliver it with your team. Okay, so that could be cool. You are cool when under pressure. Okay, so the only way to make, for example, your own, the only way to know how a car holds up into an accident is to really crash it. And the true test ng leaders, okay, in a team when they behave wrongly, okay, so they do fly off the handle blame when mistakes happen, and they take ownership and correct problems, right? Now, what you can do is expect people to fight in a battle kung nandun sila sa sitwasyon na yon. Okay? The commander in a battle don't really freaks out. Okay? Or run away. So you as a leader, you need to be cool, okay, under pressure. And a true leader manages to remain their poise, their focus, and is able to provide any direction and emotional stable environment when things go not well. Okay, so number four is they appreciate and make people feel valued. So excellent leaders are shared with you. They are generous to praise, to recognize, or to acknowledge people's contributions. They praise whether a person lands for example, a big contract, nagpasign siya ng big contract. Or if you are a leader, you praise them or you are being grateful for the efforts na binigay ng iyong team. So that's usually that they'll want to give you more if they can hear it from you. Okay, as a global leader, they don't feel that you are a boss, but rather that other team members invest in their own success, which are equals, can equate to you. If they're successful under your arm or your umbrella, makikita mo na people will look up you as a successful leader. Okay? And number five, be real and they care. Be real and be real as you care to them. That you need to show up authentic care and hit the balance of knowing what to do and inspiring confidence sa kanila, knowing how and when to be vulnerable. Okay, like for example, they will tell you that they cannot do this, or they share their emotional battles, could be personal, okay, problems or professional hindrances, why they have those things. So you need to know when and how to be vulnerable. Then that's the time that they can earn trust, loyalty, respect, and discretionary efforts by proving first that you care about your people. Okay, so great leader know better than the demands of things that can be only given at a will. So we're almost done with our discussion, but I'd like to share with you um, things, no? The top 10 skills in 2025. Okay, if you are a student and I shared with you, maybe 2025 you'll be a graduate, a newly hired person. Being an HR in a in a in our company, I always look as well on these top 10 skills that was published or the sources from World Economic Forum last August 14 last year. No? So number one is to have the analytical thinking and innovation. So when we talk about analytical, it must be able to identify and define problems. Hindi lang may problema, but you define them and you also extract key information from that data and develop a workable solutions for the problems that was identified in order to test and verify the cause of the problem and even develop a sustainable solution as shared a while ago to resolve yung problems na nakita natin. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, as you listen to today and you wanted to have this analytical thinking, then you are looking always for a solution. Kung may problema, may solution. Okay? That's always the mindset of the leader. And active learning and learning strategies. And we already shared with you, okay, about a lifelong curiosity, okay, and that you need to learn not from your mistakes alone, but also to the people. Complex problem solving. And it means that in an organization, there will be a lot of problems. Okay, if you will be a part of that solution to resolve that problems, it will be a great help. It will be recognize your work. Okay, so mas makikilala ka sa ganun. Another skills that you need to develop is the critical thinking and analysis. So when we talk about critical thinking, the objective of this is to analyze or evaluate of any issues in order to form a judgment. Okay, to form a judgment. So you scrutinize. Now, creativity and originality and initiative is there. And you can see, a lot of jobs, new jobs are really booming in different various organizations and industries. So if you are creative enough, use that skill. Leadership and social influence is necessary, right? So we've talked about a lot of the meaning of leaders, leadership, leading, and part of the skill is leadership. Now, technology use and monitoring and control. Being a leader or being a follower, you must have this technology use and monitoring control. As shared with you, there are a lot of project management tools and technologies and trends that you can use to do that, which is the next is technology design and programming. Okay, nowadays, even you are on different courses, it doesn't mean technology nandun, no? But if you can design a workflow, a process, and collaborate with someone who knows the technology and can design to make your work easier, that's another skill that that's effective in an organization or to the group being a leader and a follower. Resilience. Marami sa ating mga Pilipino bilang PUP yan, bilang scholar ng bayan, ay resilient. Okay? What does it mean? This is a capability to recover quickly from difficulties the toughness. And it's very remarkable for our side. I'm hearing a lot of HR from various organizations that was flashed during the introduction why they chose a PUPian, and I can attest to that being an HR leader now, na ang dami kong na-interview sa iba't ibang schools, no? And yung characteristic ng isang PUPian or isang scholar ng bayan is it can resonate, no? So being resilient, and we are quickly to recover from any difficulties that we are facing. And you know, the stress, tolerance, and flexibility ay nandun despite of all what happened, right? And now, the last is in reasoning. So problem solving and ideation. So now that we can identify the problems, what's the logic behind that? Okay? Now, if there's a miscommunication, what's the logic behind that? If there's a human error or technology error in your company, or where are you now at school or any processes, what is the reason behind that? So that could help you to identify. So you choose your team, and I wish that you are able to or can continue to work with the great leaders out there. If you are a leader, continue to surround yourself with great and good leaders as well, okay, as they possess some of the extraordinary attributes. They truly are blessings to the world and should be cherished and recognized more, so that in a world that has a lacking strong leadership, nandyan sila. The authentic leadership, the appreciative leadership, the global leaders out there. So let's thank them for leading our way in a better place. So again, I'd like to end, okay? This is the last slide. I'd like to end on this quote. Medyo malabo siya, okay? So you can zoom in. Okay, the role of the leader is not to come with all the great ideas. The role of the leader is to create an environment in which great ideas can happen, as shared to us by Simon Sinek. Okay, and really nobody ever said that leader is easy, right? It's very simple to bark out orders and dismiss someone if they are not performing well, okay? But it takes a lot of effort to coach, to mentor, to inspire, to motivate your team to perform at its best. And that's the fundamental difference between the leader and a manager, okay? Between good and exceptional, that you must willing to pay the price of leadership if you want to take the perks of the leadership, di ba? So, yan yung dapat nating ma-realize. And as a leader, again, create a culture where people all are inspired to come to offices, okay? To come to work, and to create great ideas, and where dreams are encouraged to dream big, live your purpose by serving others continually, and inspire them, your team to lift organization to a higher level of performance. So that would be end of my discussion. Thank you very much for the time that you provided me. Okay, so I think I'll pass the time to Mama Val.
Yes, I'm here. So thank you po for the plenty of food for thought, Sir Jakeson. I would like to commend what Sir Jakeson said in his presentation about the characteristics of a leader, right? So, and I can see PUPians have those kinds of characteristics, the good leader. Okay, from administrative staff, designees, teachers, students, and alumni, regardless kung galing sa main or branches. Kudos po sa ating lahat. Okay, so let us now proceed to our open forum. I'll be reading questions, if there are any, from our audience to be answered by our great speaker. Meron po ba? Okay, according to from Joe M. Clee, eto dati ko po itong estudyante, no? The role of a leader is not to come up with all the great ideas. The role of a leader is to create an environment in which great ideas can happen, from Simon Sinek. Yes, I agree. Teacher na po siya ngayon sa isang public school. Hello, Joe M. Okay, do we have a question or any question to our speaker? Okay, I have here, sir, a PM question po regarding our topic. Can you share po with us about a time when you demonstrated leadership skills?
That's the only question, no?
I think so, sir, so far.
Yeah,
so far, sir.
Okay, that's the only question. I think yung part nung sa leadership na demonstrated, marami kasi yun. I shared with you that even when we are young, we are the leading people. Okay, so but if you are asking me if how and when did I demonstrated leadership at work, sa school ba? Kasi ang daming pumasok sa isip ko nung
very generic
leadership, because even in my family I usually tend to lead, even in my friends, the decision. But I think I'll take it sa professional level na lang, no? So how do I demonstrate leadership? So I will also supplement it with the discussion natin. Okay, it's always the situation is whenever I decide, okay? Whenever I put my decision, and I realized that before, because I'm independent, I think most of the PUP yan, di ba, pag wala nang gumagawa, tayo na yung sumusugod, okay? So parang pag wala na, tayo na lang. And I realized that in how I need to demonstrate a good leadership is, again, to reach out to the people, what really happened, and to form that decision. Because from there, you will go on the process sa ano yung kanilang critical thinking, ano yung reasoning, what happened, what are the processes or systems or approaches that needs to change, and you can be able to provide a complete and comprehensive solutions. Now, looking at that, makikita ng management, okay, na hindi siya one-sided. Okay, so makikita nila that there is a comprehensive thought na nag-flow doon sa iyong presentation or sa iyong ginawa. Now, if you are a student who asked that, and thank you for asking that. So, how can you demonstrate being a good leader? Again, it's not about authority. It's not about role. But if you are involved, the word that I've shared with you is the involvement. If you are involved even from the conceptualization, okay, that process, and all the way to completion of your project, magiging madali yun na parang, people will see that, okay, you took that ownership, that leadership, at least on one piece of a pie.
Yes, thank you, sir. So do we still have questions from our participants? Okay, so far none. I think everything is clear and our PUPians were inspired and learned from your talk, Sir Jakeson, no? Thank you so much. Can we give our speaker a heart reaction? Let's see the heart reaction. Let's see. Okay. Yon, ayan na. Okay, Sir Jakeson, thank you so much. Thank you very much, sir, for generously answering the question from our participants and generously sharing your experiences and your ideas about leadership. Thank you so much. Why don't we give ourselves a big virtual hand for having this day? Okay, we couldn't have done this successfully without our very active participants and our very good speaker who spared your time attending this webinar. Thank you so much. So let us move on to our awarding of Certificate of Appreciation to our speaker, Mr. Jakeson G. QUIATCHON. Let us hear what's inside the certificate. Assistant Professor Jane S. Pulma, the Chief of CDPS, please do the honors.
Okay, so good afternoon, sir. So in behalf of the Alumni Relation and Career Development Office, maraming salamat and sharing your expertise. to our students, faculty, and alumni. So the Polytechnic, let me read the certificate of appreciation. The Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Office of the Vice President for Students Affairs and Services, Alumni Relation and Career Development Office. This certificate of appreciation is hereby given to Mr. Jakeson G. QUIATCHON, People's Manager, Interpid Philippines Incorporated, in grateful acknowledgement of his engagement and insightful academic contribution as resource speaker, imparting unparalleled knowledge and expertise in transitioning for a good leader to an exceptional global leader during the webinar series with the title BALIK SINTANG PAARALAN, the PUP Alumni Webinar Series, held on July 19, 2022 via Zoom and Facebook live stream. Given this 19th day of July 2022 at the Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Santa Mesa, Manila, signed Engineer Florinda H. Quinto, Director, Alumni Relation and Career Development Office, Tomas O. Testor, Vice President of Students Affairs and Services. Maraming salamat, sir.
Okay, again, thank you. Thank you, Miss Jane.
Thank you.
I can see, sir, questions from the chat, chat box po natin. But guys, doon po sa mga nagtanong, I'll be sending na lang po to Sir Jakeson your questions. Tapos, i-comment na lang po siguro ni Sir Jason or pag in-email po sa akin ni Sir Jakeson yung sagot niya doon sa questions ninyo, ipopost ko na lang po doon sa live streaming po natin sa ating FB page. Okay? Again, thank you so much, Sir Jakeson G. QUIATCHON, for inspiring us today. Okay, to all participants, do not forget to answer the evaluation form posted in our chat box here in Zoom and the comment section on our FB page for you to receive your e-certificate through your email. Kindly visit the PUP Alumni Facebook page, then like and share the webinar live stream video so that other students and alumni can also be able to learn and inspire from our webinar. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that wraps up our morning. Thank you all for making time in your busy schedules to join us here this morning. It's been our pleasure to host this event, and I hope you were inspired by this event. Again, once again, I'm Mavelvin Lagarde, your moderator. God bless us all. Thank you.
Ang